Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all of our listeners out there in podcast land. This is Joe, as you know, on the She Compass. I'm here with Helen. We are pointing north today, and I have kind of I would say it's sort of a fun/interesting episode that I want to talk to you about today. I found an article in The Atlantic about women who carry backpacks. Who have chosen to carry backpacks over purses. Now, this may seem like a trivial topic, but I'm actually one of those women that has sort of become anti-purse, if you will, because of all the things I have to do. My world is mobile. We women are so busy now. We have so many other gadgets that are attached to us: phones, laptops, iPads, iPhones, the wrist, iWatches, all these sort of things that we have to kind of keep it attached to. We're constantly juggling back and forth on apps and calendars and things, trying to run our life. And the purses of old just don't seem to cut it anymore. So what I love was that the Atlantic kind of highlighted this new wave of women. In fact, they said that according to the market research firm MPD, sales of women's backpacks are up by 28% in the past year, and women's handbags have also suffered a drop over the past year. So it's basically saying something about the way that our culture is kind of changing. Here's a quote from one woman that said, the story said, I corresponded with dozens of women for this story, and they told me they had grown tired of juggling multiple bags on public transportation or while walking in heels, no less. They shared tales of trying to squeeze a laptop, makeup, gym clothes, a water bottle, notebooks, and a phone into a classy tote, and then just having to give up. Nothing's going to fit. And so I was like reading that and thinking, yeah, that's me. That's definitely me. And that's one of the reasons why I have switched to a backpack. One of the things that was talked about in the article was that some women were talking about that they had sustained shoulder and neck injuries from their heavy purses. And their chiropractors had actually confirmed that a lot of the injuries were coming from having a big bag hanging on their shoulder. And so I think a lot of us have decided to kind of be a little bit more liberated and think about ways that we can carry things. And I love that we talked about, the article talked about these, it's not like you have to sort of relegate yourself to a child's backpack. You can have something that's stylish and looks great on you and gives you the opportunity to look nice and work with what you've got. And so I just want to kind of share my little story about that. So my sister Helen, as you know, is a fashion guru. She's been in the beauty industry for, I believe it's 40 plus years. And so she really is a person that, if you've seen any of her Instagram photos or any of the stuff that she does, the kind of the work that she does, you can see that she is always very stylish. She has a purse for everything. And, she's always, whenever we have an event coming up, I'm grateful because she always has a handbag for me that I can put with whatever I'm wearing. But I really am the backpack person. And I think it's interesting, as I said, that the Atlantic did an article on this because it's showing that women's sort of needs are changing and our fashion needs are changing. And I wanted to ask you, Helen, especially as a person who's been in this industry for a long time, you tease me a lot about the backpack situation, but you also come to really respect my choices. Every time you're out and you find a bag for me, it's funny, if you're looking around for a purse or something, you'll ask the salesperson, you'll be like, look, don't show me any purses. Show me the most stylish backpacks that you've got. And haven't you seen that with some of the other women that you're talking with too, that they've all kind of expressed some of the same similarities?
Well, yes. Women are sacrificing their health for carrying a beautiful bag. It's the same thing with a pair of heels. I've been wearing high heels since I was 14 years old, and I know very well how to walk in them. But when you start putting women in 3, 4, 5-inch heels, it's beautiful on a woman, but how long can you wear them? And then that's bad for your back too. And like you said, you're juggling this. So I'm quite aware of it, that sometimes I'm carrying my purse and it's like bricks are in it. And I'm thinking to myself, what is this doing to my arm? because you're just one-sided thing. You're carrying it, and then you're wearing your heels, and you're trying to juggle, and the only thing you're really juggling around is pain.
Exactly. and I've held some of your purses. I mean, they really do feel like they've got bricks in them.
Most women, if we have that saying that we're carrying the whole house in our bag.
It's true.
And there's so many beautiful bags. And so in the industry where your bag is like your signature, you got your Gucci bag, or do you have your Prada bag, or do you have, women's bags have become as popular as men with cars.
Exactly.
So, they're kind of like defined by what bag you're carrying is your status. So, they're making backpacks the same way now because the industry is getting in on that, because they're knowing that not every woman wants to carry a bag. And if you really want to know the truth, we really all need to be in a backpack, because, and especially according to age, if you're, in your 50s, or even in your 40s, I know 20-year-olds that can't wear high heel shoes at all. It's just like they can't wear it. And it depends on your feet. So when you're balancing all this, in the world of women, the sad part is that we have to look a certain part. We have to play a certain role. Men don't have that. Think about men. You're saying we have our iPhone, we have our iPad, or we have, our laptop, and we're carrying all this stuff. But then as well, we're carrying makeup bags. We're carrying brushes for our hair. Men, the things that they don't have to do.
I think, what do they have, like a wallet in their backpack, in their back pocket or
and
something?
That's it. And I'm like, wait a minute, dude, how are these men surviving?
Right.
Because they're out there and they don't have to bring all this stuff with them. And if they do, they have like what's called a man purse, and they're pretty much just carrying their laptop in there, but they don't have to carry all this additional stuff. And then, I remember going to work in one glamorous shoe, but I couldn't wear it. So I have to bring my, other pair of shoes to switch it up with. So it's just a juggling act. And I think it's all depends on what you're doing. That once again, here we are with this thing. We have to take care of our health, because I've had so many women put their whole shoulders out, operations where they're trying to hold the door and trying to hold this heavy bag, and they have on their heels, because
we know one woman, I think, that had an operation on both shoulders, right? Because she's been carrying heavy stuff on her shoulders for years.
And then we don't think about these knee replacements, what it's doing to our knees in later life. Because I've seen women who have been very thin all their lives, and they get knee replacements, and I'm saying, why are you getting a knee replacement? But there's some wear and tear in all of it. And I remember, like, even now when I wear my high heels, women just say, oh my God, you're my hero, you're my shero, because how are you wearing those things?
And I can't wear them, so I literally have to brace myself on you wherever we go.
Really?
I almost look strange, like, oh, Joe and Helen, it's good to see you guys, but Joe, why are you locked on Helen's arm like that? Because I got 20-inch heels on, and I can't stand without it.
Right. And you know me, I'm a collector of shoes. I think they're just beautiful. We even had a book that I contributed to, Glad Rags, and talked about my shoes and talked about the levels of shoes with the level of success, and where you get to, your shoes change. And we all know the famous red bottoms are what most women aspire to have.
Christian Louboutin.
Oh yeah, they aspire to have those things, but I've never seen a pair less than 2 inches tall.
I know.
So, it's poor women. I mean, we have to just do so much to get our jobs done, and we have to look the part, because society and mostly us are very judgmental of other women. Women are so judgmental of other women, and how they look, and how they dress, and how their hair is done, and what kind of shoes they're wearing, and what kind of purse they're carrying, how thin they are, or how full figure they are. It's all wrapped around how successful you look is how successful people view you on your looks. And I can get on here and say forever and a day that you don't have to worry about that, but you do. You do. So you have to try to work it out. I don't think walking in the door with a beautiful backpack with your 4-inch heels on, and you have everything, and you're taking that pressure off your arms. You have some gorgeous backpacks that I've found for you, and some you found for yourself. Mm-hmm. So it's you can get away with it now.
And I like the point that you made, which is that I love the point that you made, which is the kind of the same message that we're always telling our ladies to take with them, is to say that we live in a world where there are expectations that are put upon us, and there are demands that are put upon us. But to your point, which is to say that you can live within the confines of those demands and still put yourself first.
Oh yeah, because when in talking to men, I think men, they love every kind of a woman, but for us as being women, we put so much pressure on ourselves to survive in the society that we're in judging one another. I think women judge one another way more than men judge women.
I think that's true.
And we just don't know that we can be loved however we are. And so the picture that you have of yourself, the image that you have of yourself and your success and what you're doing is always based upon how we look.
And then I think if you take the time to make yourself comfortable in a place that where you are having to live within those confines, other women are paying attention, just like you said, and research shows this too. You and I did a show on this about gossip in the workplace and how it's used as a way to undermine women and
Yes.
actually jockey for position.
Right.
And so if you're putting your best foot forward and saying, hey, look, I know where I'm at, I know what I'm dealing with, but if you're still willing to take your stand and say, this is who I am. I wear great looking tennis shoes and a backpack because my feet are bad and my shoulders are bad, but I still look good. And more importantly, I'm still willing to demand that you respect me by the way that I carry myself. Then you send that message to other women that it's okay to stand for who you are and to be positive about who you are.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the world says one thing and then there's a triple threat for everything else. What I mean by that is we say we want to be better. We say we want to do better. We say we don't want to judge one another. We say that, no matter what we look like, we should be accepted. But at the same time, there's a double standard. The world is not prepared for that. You can't go to work in hair rollers. You can't, show up without your makeup on. You have to have everything pretty much on point. Your hair, your makeup, your body, your existence as a woman is to be judged on a daily basis. And the sad part is most of us do it to one another and shame the other person into not being able to be as free as you say we can be.
Well, and I think that's why your point about owning it in a way that is comfortable for you makes all the difference. You as an alopecia sufferer and survivor, you started losing your hair. We have pictures of your hairline at, 3 and 4 years old that's starting to recede as a child. So you've been battling with trying to be a confident woman amongst people who not only didn't understand the disorder, but weren't comfortable in their own skin. So they felt okay bullying you, pointing fingers, talking behind your back and things of this nature. So you've had a lot of practice at standing in your truth, even in the midst of what other people say. And I think there is something to be said about that. And you are absolutely right. We live in a world where there's more fingers being pointed at us than fingers that are used to hold our hand. But I think that if we are willing to make that effort to say, and I think you have to at some point, because then you won't survive all the negativity. At one point you have to say, what do I stand for? What do I represent? And there are ways to present yourself to the world in a way that's compatible with who you are and also compatible with the way the world is, so that you have some kind of happy medium. And I've seen you do this, which is really great. Like, for example, I'm thinking of that last picture that you posted on Instagram with your natural hair. And we told the story of the fact that, depending on, you have to do a lot of work because there's a lot of bald patches in your head, a lot of scalp issues that you're dealing with. And it still looks nice, but this is not your first choice about what you would do. But if you're in a situation where you have to, you're willing to own it. I think there's something to be said about that. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're excited to announce Helen's latest speaking engagement. Helen will join the ladies of Believe, Inspire, Grow in Chatham Township, New Jersey on Friday, August 9th, 2019 at 10 a.m. for an inspiring talk on how she overcame the challenges of severe dyslexia and dysgraphia, poverty, teenage pregnancy, and the loss of her hair as a child to become a successful business owner and author of the 3-time award-winning book, Finding Our She Compass, 15 Life Lessons for Women Voyaging Toward Restoration, Reconstruction, and Renewal. Helen has been empowering women through word and action for years and is the recipient of multiple awards for her dedication to improving the lives of women everywhere. Our podcast, The She Compass Show, is based on that book premise of using life lessons on the path to self-discovery. please join us for a great day of conversation, fellowship, and encouragement. For more details on the event and to learn how to become a member of Believe, Inspire, Grow, also known as BIG, contact Kathy Maloney at cmaloney1@verizon.net. That's CMALONEY, the number 1, at verizon.net. You can also visit the website at believeinspiregrow.com. And we'll also have links to the contact information and website for Believe, Inspire, Grow in our show notes for this episode. We look forward to seeing you there. Join Helen on the Path of the Lightworker, a podcast where listeners hear from people doing their life's work and bringing light to the world. On Helen's appearance, the host writes, Helen Owens is an example of the loving light that shows up to everything with the intention to love, be expansive, and show people their worth. Somebody like that naturally excels. When we talk about life purpose, she has such an incredible story, and I really resonated with it. Her story is a powerful example of letting your heart lead you forward one step at a time. Love podcasts? Then get paid to listen to The She Compass Show on Podcoin. Join Helen on the Dyslexia Quest, a podcast featuring interviews with the leading experts in the field of intelligence, learning, flourishing, and neurodiversity, as well as profiling uber-successful dyslexics to share their story and wisdom. Helen's show opened Dyslexia Quest's new season, and she's looking forward to talking to you about her own battle with dyslexia. On Helen's appearance, the host writes, quote, Helen Owens blew me away. She is one of the most powerful guests I've ever had. She holds presence, confidence, and an inner sense of radiance. If you are looking for an inspiring story that will have you connected to your innate power, your capacity to create, that will have you inspired about human potential, this is your episode. I have a feeling this is going to be one of our all-time listener favorites, end quote. You don't want to miss this show, and you can help support this podcast that shines a light on neurodiversity. We'll have a link to this show ready for you in the show notes. Now, back to the show.
Well, one of the producers of the She Compass show made that comment yesterday when we were in a photo shoot. He said that just like the picture you took with King Shalalish, which is my dog, he said, with your natural hair was so great and so brave of you. So I always say, you know, my curse had became my blessings. It gave me a lot of courage, I would say courage, because when you have to have the courage as a child to have hair loss and survive through the bullying and survive through all of the things that made you the person you are today, you develop a courage that no one can break down. I support a lot of women who have that, and it came out in their later years. And that's hard. That's really hard because you don't get enough time to even accept the fact that it happened to you, the fact that you're living in something that you can't get out of. And that's hard because you're in that body. So you can't get out of it. You have to face it every day. You have to look at the hair loss every day. You have to feel the shame until it's kind of driven into you like nails, where it's something that you accept. And then you just move on and say, okay, I look great. I have to hide this from everybody, but this is what I want, or I'm going to be, you know, I have women who are real champions and they say to people, yeah, I lost my hair. Look, I look great. It's not mine, but look at it. It looks wonderful. I am whole. I feel whole.
And I think that's exactly the larger point to what I'm speaking to on this topic. You know, whether, like I said, backpacks may seem a little bit trivial when you start talking about hair loss, but I think the point that Helen's making, and I think it's the same thing we try to drive home all the time, is that, you know, the Atlantic felt compelled to write an article about women wearing backpacks, not because women wear backpacks as a fashion statement, but because what the piece was saying is that women have been placed in such they're square pegs that have been placed in round holes for so long that even this little act of defiance against fashion to say, hey, I'm tired of
a purse.
Yeah, I'm tired of a purse compromising my health so much so that now I'm going to create something for myself. And your point, Helen, is absolutely 100% what this whole show is about. Whatever your situation is, take control of it, own it, and be proud of it, because it is a part of you.
Yeah.
And if that means wearing a hairpiece because you've got a couple of spots in your head that doesn't allow you to be who you are, if it means putting a backpack on and using your favorite bedazzler gun to put, a couple little studs here and crystals and whatnot, or if it just means, getting a backpack from the school supply, and that's the one that you want to wear because you are tired of the body pain being caused by a purse, then you do that and you feel good about it. And that's what the point of this is.
Well, yeah, it is. And people out there are probably thinking to themselves, how did she turn a backpack story into a hair loss story? But it's the same. The issue is the same. Yeah, it's one and the same. It's being proud of whatever it is you have to do. And if you walk in there with that, Michael Kors backpack or Prada backpack, it's just as good as a purse, and we should be accepted for whatever we have to do. We're taking care of ourselves, and a lot of people already have back problems and disc problems, and so even carrying the backpack could be hard on them later. But we do what we have to do. But my wish for the world, which I don't know if I'm going to ever live to see it come true, is that we quit judging each other. We all have problems. Everyone. There's nobody perfect. Even if you can make it look that way, you're not perfect. And perfection can never be reached from anybody in this world. We're all going to have flaws. And so just be nice. Show some kindness, show some love. When someone's different than you, no matter what they look like or no matter what they're doing, show some compassion.
Allow people to just be. Allow people to express themselves in a way that's comfortable for them. I mean, we were just talking about the fact that we have a good friend that has, when you've got a woman who's got to have surgery on her shoulders, because the fashion requires, the workplace that she's in, the demands of the environment that she's in demand that she has something on her shoulders that is so painful that it's putting her in surgery. We have a problem. That's something that you need to step back and take a look at, and she needs to be able to be in a place where she can say, I'm not doing this anymore. And in fact, that is the decision that she made, and her workplace and her co-workers and everybody else that initially had something to say about it all went along with it, because they're like, she's got the last word. This lady's got to be able to do what's good for her.
And women are Mother Earth, just let's accept it. I mean, women, they're the makers of this world. They have to carry children, to carry men, carry women. We carry the world on our shoulders. Let's lighten up a little bit.
That is considering that this is a show about backpacks, I cannot tell you how good of a description that is. I love that. That's absolutely true. Yep.
I'm in, like I said, I'm in my late 50s, and I can sprint in a 4 or 5, 6 inch heel, but it only came from, I was so used to wearing heels all my life. Not that they're the best for me. I don't wear them as often as I used to, but if I have to put a pair on, I'm very comfortable in that.
And along those lines, I'll jump in here really quickly. What I also think is great about that is that you have a sister that has bunions in her feet, has no arch, I was going to make that comparison. Right? And you're so good about respecting.
Yeah, we wear the same size. Yeah. But the thing of it is, whenever I look for a shoe for you, I'm always looking for something that accommodates that.
That's true.
Accommodate the people you love. Accommodate them in their pain, in the differences that they have. And because for a woman who wears heels, I have the perfect formula. And, when young girls look at me and, a lot of them refer to me as mama or auntie, or they'll say, you can still wear those heels. Look at that. And you're wearing those heels. And I can't even wear those heels now. It's not for everybody. They're beautiful. But if you look around, you'll see most women try to avoid heels because they eventually, I'm not going to be able to wear them either, even if I can sprint in them, because they're not good for my health. I have to think about my health, and I have to think about holding my body together. So I'll wear them every now and then. And, And, the backpack thing, I love them. What I'm trying to do is, loosen up the purse strings for my purse and quit making it so darn heavy. But, that's a difficult thing. So you know what I do? Now when I go shopping or I do anything, I carry a basket with me. All the women envy me. They go, where did you get that basket? That's so smart. And I say, there's no way I'm going to walk around this store shopping for shoes or clothing or anything else and carry it. It's too heavy. So try to think of unique ways to offload some of the pain that you're going to bring upon yourself when you're doing all this. And just think, a backpack is not a bad idea. If it's going to take some of the pressure off of your body and make it where your body lasts longer for you, I think that's a great idea.
I absolutely agree. And I think that's the thing.
And you look cute in your backpacks.
Thank you. I like them
absolutely
a lot.
Cute. I mean, I look at you and I go, I don't know. I have a lot of purses, but I'm looking at you and thinking to myself, this is not a bad idea. And that's why I got the idea to at least lighten up the load.
And you and thank you for always being so, I can't tell you how supportive Helen is. It's a small thing, but it really means a lot to me. When I see her shoe shopping, or I see her looking at, at some gorgeous heels or looking at a gorgeous bag, and she kind of looks back at me, and, she can sort of see the little puppy dog look in my face, like, I wish I could wear that, the funny thing is she's a step ahead of me. And I think that's the point, because she's so accommodating and so kind, that it's always a situation where you're like, don't worry, Joe, I got you. We're going to shop in this store and we're going to find a heel that fits your crazy deformed foot and looks nice on you, but doesn't compromise your health. And oh, look, I've already got a backpack in mind for you. And it's beautiful. And it's got, whatever kind of sparklies or bows or whatever feminine stuff on it that, she knows I like. And I love that because it brings us together and allows us to enjoy something that I otherwise would not be able to enjoy. And not only not enjoy it, it often pains me to go shoe shopping because I look at all of these beautiful shoes and I know I can never wear any of them. And so instead of, my sister kind of sprinting through the store in her 6-inch heels, she spends the time to say, no, let's put on our sneakers for a moment and you try each of these things on. We're going to wait for you to try these things on and make sure they feel comfortable for you, because you need to not only look good, but in a way that makes you feel good, because that's a reflection of who you are. And that's the other point that you're making, Helen, and you are an example of that. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate that.
Well, there's an accommodation for every woman. Every woman can be accommodated in their dress code, whatever they're wearing, in their hair, in their makeup that they're wearing or not wearing. I simply think women who are not wearing makeup, that's the natural beauty of them. And I look at it like this. Life can be glamorous if you want to, glam up yourself and have yourself looking beautiful. You want to put on makeup because you love makeup. You want to put on a wig. I have women who buy wigs from me and units, and they're not even bald, or they don't even have any bald problem. It's for a change up. They like looking different. Some people like to wear a wig like they wear their jewelry. It's an accessory. So it's all in how we feel as a person, but we must respect the boundaries of other people and know that we're not all alike, and that's a good thing. Being different is the thing that brings in delight for me in my heart. I love to see people who are different than me and doing different things to help. That's how we get our ideas.
I couldn't agree more. And Helen, you're a shining example of showing women, of not only being a person that accommodates other people by showing them kindness and respect, but also encourages other people to do so. And I want to thank our listeners for joining us for this show. This is the kind of stuff that really makes me happy, because we get to talk about the diversity amongst women, the love amongst women, and we love sharing these kinds of messages. And if you love what we're doing here, I really want to encourage you to pick up a copy of Finding Our She Compass, which is the book that sort of started it all. It's a book of 15 life lessons. As Helen once said before, the book has 15 life lessons, and she shares the other 100 that live in her life and body on this show. But it's a really good book because it really sort of talks about what happens when women support each other, and also has some stories about what happens when women don't support each other. And it drives home the fact that we truly are stronger together. And so I want to thank you once again for joining us, and really hope that you will join us again in an upcoming show very soon. Have a wonderful day.